Hello and good evening. Hope you're all good day. So here we are. It's been a couple weeks. I've kind of just let myself sort of take a step back from just while we decide where the market's going. Um, Now what I do kind of want to bring attention to with people is what I called back in July last year. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to it here. Um, do, 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 do. Need to find the message. I was meant to have this pre-planned to talk to people. So I've got to scroll back through the chats. Give me a second. Right, hold on. I'll show you on the Discord here. Do, 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 do. Back in July, I think. Hope everyone's good, by the way. So don't be afraid to say hello if you're watching. So it's around the 14th or the 15th of July. There you go. This is it. Alright, in my Discord here. I called the ballrooms over. I called the top. Okay. And I was pretty chuffed with it. But then I got called out by a student who was a bit abrupt in calling me out. They just weren't happy to accept it, I guess. But that's fine. I mean, like I appreciate people having different opinions and challenging, because that's how we grow. Okay. But I just wanted to say, like, 56 retrace at the time would see us do 54 1 2 5. But I could see us doing 44 retracing to 69,000. Okay, so this was back on the 15th of July last year. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to point that out, okay, is because where are we right now? Okay, I want to let's change the chart for a second. This take prop, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know. It's absolutely amazing platform. The developers work really hard behind the scenes on it. So hats off to them. Links all in the description if you want to check it out. That's a little bit of a ghost rectangle, still shows up. Right, so what I'm looking for here is the 14th, 15th of July. Okay, about there. There you go, 14th of July, right at the top there. Okay. Now, I'll share this again. Okay. I called it, I explained why. Going right the way back till, when was that? 2014, following the trend line. And I saw it get about, so I called it. I'm glad I did. People weren't ready for that, and to be honest, I got a lot of hate. The reason why I'm talking about this, right, is because the hate I got, I ended up closing my short. Okay, my target was 69. Okay, and I got a lot of hate because I closed my short one. Alright, and I'm a little bit annoyed about it, but that's fine. That's no one else's fault. That's only my fault. Okay, I chose to close it because generally it was misguided information that someone was giving me. Okay, so this is what I say to one of the people, like, you have to surround yourself with people that want to see you grow in this space. Okay, if they're not interested in seeing you grow in this space, and they're only interested in bringing you hate, there's no point surrounding yourself with that. Okay, you need to find good people that you can get on with. It's okay to fall out with people and have different opinions, okay, but you have to be able to negotiate that and learn from it, okay, because space is brutal. Okay, this is a real life financial PvP market. Okay, like I want to see people grow and do well just as much as the next person. I really do. But at the same time, I want to be there first. Okay, like it's me or you, and like I get the call, like I'm taking the money. That's this space, okay. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to see people grow either. Okay, that doesn't mean that I don't want to give people the right information to be able to make the right choices to be able to get ahead. Okay, there's so many people in this space that will shill you a token. They talk you into it. They're your friend. They get you to buy this token, and then use you as exit liquidity, man. I think we all know someone who's done that at least once, right? But look at this. Like that there would have been an amazing trade. Okay. 69,000. I still think we're going to 69,000. Okay. Maybe not yet. Because let me delete this. My keyboard's not working for some reason. There we go. Bit of desync, I think. Okay, so what we're looking at really, okay, is a little change. Now, what's to say? All right, this is just food for thought right now. Back here in, where are we? There we go. Look at this. All right. Back in 2021, we had a top. Okay. And then look at this retrace. I think this is where some of my previous thoughts and analysis come from as well. Okay. That was a 55.56% retrace. Okay. Hey Peter. Was that back on the April? So after that 55% retrace, we come back up. Okay, so I think people are kind of expecting the same thing here. Okay, and I think a lot of people are going to get trapped. Okay, they're going to get into a false positive here and trap themselves. So I think that's what this bit was. Okay, we peaked here. And then we dropped, didn't we? So look at that. That's a 32% retrace. And then it's pumped back up, okay? Now, I think people are going to get trapped here. Because I think people are going to expect a similar sort of, okay? So, I don't know why this bit, well I do, because this is only the measuring tool. Okay, so that's a 41% move. If we went 55%, what would that look like? Don't know why my computer's a little bit slow today. It's kind of struggling to keep up with things. It's probably because it's not been restarted for all. Alright, yeah. So just hopefully the stream's coming through. But yeah, 55% is, you know, about 56k. No. Okay, now I also had a long I was going long up here. Okay. I ignored this bear flag, and I did on my post as well that I was going to ignore this bear flag. Okay. Bear flag looking like this. Okay. That to me was the bear flag. There's the pole, there's the flag. Okay. And I knew it was there. I chose to ignore it. I was stupid. You know, no other way to say it. Because quite bear flags and bull flags are really strong pattern signals. Okay, they are. Okay. And I called a long, and it was going my direction, and when it come down I was still in the long, and I was still quote unquote safe. I got in down here and up here, I was still safe, right? And it come back down. I thought, okay, it's retested my tricks, come back up, it's looking good. What I failed to do was go back and look at the chart. Okay, because when you go back and look at the chart, it gives you a bit more hindsight. We're all professionals in hindsight, okay? Looking at it, it was a perfect retrace of that channel and dropping down, okay? And the annoying thing is I've drawn that out there to show you, but let me show you this, right? Over on, where is it? Over here. There we go. Alright, this is coin, okay? And I have this up on my other screen as well, all the time, to give myself a separate perspective. Because Take Profit's my main charting platform, okay, but TradingView gives me access to a few charts that Take Profit doesn't have. Okay? But I don't look at those charts that often, and I have this up on my screen. Okay, this is my plan. Okay, I went long on the breakout. Okay, when really what I should have been looking for was going short on the breakdown. Okay, anyone who's done my mentorship should know that should have been my short opportunity. Okay, especially on the fail of that FPG. But that's what we're here for. You know, we can't win them all. Sometimes we make wrong decisions. Okay, USDT, I haven't done this for such a long time, looked at this for such a long time, but that is playing out exactly as I portrayed. I think I last looked at this on a stream a while back, and it's out almost perfectly, you know. So let's have a look. Okay, so again, I haven't. So this is the chart that goes back years, if I wanted to. I actually quite like this chart. I was not going to tell you what I was doing there, but I'm pretty sure you can see. I'm just going to delete all that. So this is the actual Bitcoin that goes back as far back as you can possibly get, really. 2018 on this one. There's another one that goes back as far as 2014, 2009 even. The ticker on this is the CME futures, Bitcoin 1. Okay, look at Bitcoin dominance, you know, it's broke down below my trend line now. It's actually really good. So the target's down here. Okay. So this market cap, for those of you who aren't aware. Okay. So I do need to go through all of these again. This is psychological resistance. Okay, psychological resistance is just what people think is going to struggle. Okay, you can identify psychological resistance by these large, powerful plays in it, but failing to break out. So like peaks, mountain tops. Yeah. So we called the bottom. Caught the top. I mean, I haven't traded this. This is just a site. Okay. They're all charts that you as a trader need to be looking at. Okay, you do. Also UST dominance, and I myself should also go at. As for Bitcoin at the minute, I mean, look, we're pretty much touching equal on previous lows right now. I don't want to arrow on a horizontal ray. So we've marginally stayed above. So it's still bullish because it's still marginally, in terms of a swing play, it is still a higher low. Okay. But it's marginal. Like, how much weight is it going to hold? Probably not a lot, I don't think. I do think we're going to go back sooner. Come back lower. I said about 69k I can see us doing. And that's because we're testing now the range here. Okay. Which I believe, yeah, we'll also be testing the range high of the previous all-time high. Let's have a look. That's just basic support. I can draw a rectangle here. So that sort of space, that's like no man's land, I guess. Do I have a... I'll put a demand line there for now. Okay, let's remove that. So I think that's going to get eaten up. It's a very thin line. You know, there's not a lot of strength there. You know, let's draw our channel, because we should always have our channel up, okay, to remind ourselves. See, this is the worrying thing, okay? That was the peak there. Now we've got no second tap for confirmation of this channel yet, okay? 69 is also bottom weekly channel crossing big support. Okay, that's good to know. I don't really look at the weekly values too much. I probably should. I do go and look at the weekly, but not as often as I should. I have it up on, so on this is my default view. Let me show you. So it takes a minute when you change your workspace. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure whether it's the site being a little bit laggy or whether it's my internet. I'm going to say it's my internet. Right, so up here, look, I have the weekly, I have the day, and then I have the 15-minute, which I switch to the 1 hour sometimes. Okay, but I'm trying to teach myself to be able to scalp a little bit better. So have a look. I mean, weekly 200 day EMA is at 68. I really do think we're going to at least hit that. I mean, there's no reason for it not to. Okay. Yeah, there's the weekly support right on the bottom there. Let's change that back to the daily. There's the ghost rectangle again. They're trying to find that to find out why it does that to get rid of it, which is funny. Right, okay, so people still probably aren't ready to hear this, okay, but like we've got our channel now. Only needs 2 taps for our channel, okay. The middle of the channel's actually quite well respected. Right. So we could have a bit of relief here for the short term. Let me get the path. Okay, we could come back up before we come back down. Okay, and then at this point, once we flip that, that's when I'd expect us to come down further. Okay. Can I put like little arrows? Nah, that's a shame. I can just make this. It doesn't need to be 5, 2 picks. That's fine. Okay, so that's my plan there on the daily. Okay, it might not come all the way up. In fact, I reckon it'll probably bounce off the CMA. So the CMA will come down. I reckon it'll bounce off that probably. Always see kind of what happens. Mm. Where's that? 47. Oh, so many people will be like, it's a scam. 48k, right there. What is over here at 48? Not a lot, actually. Okay. I think, honestly, like about 30, 28. 28 will be the floor, I reckon. Or just above at 31. What's your thoughts for the bear lows? Bear lows. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I think for now it's kind of a bit. But yeah, I mean, I want to know how you got doing. 49k, yeah. So about there for now. 48, 49. 31 to 20 bear lows. Obviously, it all depends very much on structure, overall movement. You know. But yeah. I'm going to go back to that plan rather than trying to play the bull in a bear trend. Didn't work out for me. Right, anyway, on that note, Peter, it's a pleasure. There isn't really too much to say. Don't go through alts all that often. But I mean, I will do at some point. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. Okay, not much else to say. We're going into bear season, so hey, this is where we make the money. So people think this is making the money. They're wrong. Okay, this is just the liquidity for the people that stay in during this. Okay, bear that in mind when we go into bear season this time around. If you quit too soon, that's it, not making no money. Right, anyway, on that note, I am gonna disappear. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.